your morning routine probably sucks. I mean, that is why you clicked on the video, right? Maybe you're a biohacker and you actually have a really well thought out morning routine. Make sure that you go outside and absorb the sun, step in the grass, taking your vitamins, but you don't actually start any work until 10 or 11, almost afternoon. Or maybe you don't have a routine at all. You don't have any good habits. You wake up, you start scrolling on your phone, you're hitting snooze every morning, maybe you don't even have the right hygiene habits in place. And then now you're all of a sudden rushing to get your day started because all of a sudden 2 to 3 hours of your morning has been gone just from scrolling. Or maybe you're in between. You have a routine that you've been trying to do, and sometimes you actually get up and you do it, and sometimes you skip it. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to avoid these mistakes. And we're going to use science-based behavioral changes and neuroscience to help you guys keep your mornings as productive as possible and command your focus on the spot. So what is the point of a whole morning routine anyway? This is a topic that is often talked about, but is also consistently misunderstood. Now, I've tried all kinds of morning routines and daily regimens, from Andrew Huberman's morning routines, doing Iman Gadzhi's monk mode, trying to do the entrepreneur's morning routine, everything from lemon water, taking your ashwagandha, going for morning walks to let the sun in your eyes, meditations, ice baths, cold showers, you name it. And all of these things honestly just take forever. After traveling and meeting several industry titans and successful entrepreneurs and figureheads, I noticed one common thing. And can you guess what I noticed? None of them had a morning routine. None of them cared about their morning routine. None of them ever talked to me about it and said, this is what you need to do if you want to be absolutely productive in the morning. For example, you don't see Elon or Tate complaining that they had a bad day because they didn't get to go for their morning walk and absorb the sun, or they didn't get to do their ice plunge or whatever it is. Instead, these entrepreneurs just wake up and get right to work. So I decided to test what I was seeing, and I had never looked into the studies of this one particular method that all these big successful entrepreneurs are doing to be so massively productive. I decided to just start waking up and get right to work. Why not follow the approach of the people that you want to be like? This did feel kind of weird at first, not doing my routine and my usual things to put myself in a more flow state, the things that usually give you an edge from your morning routine. But almost right away, I noticed that the billionaires were actually onto something. In fact, this worked shockingly well. I noticed that it was much easier to slip into a flow state. The work I was doing felt absolutely effortless. The time flew by in the morning, and before you know it, I had almost half, if not all of my day done within the 2 to 3 hours that I usually would go through my entire routine and preparation for the day. And I was accomplishing much more than I generally would after my morning routine. And it turns out this discovery is due to something called flow proneness, which was discovered by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi in the late 70s. Now, to be short, flow proneness is simply the tendency to experience a quality flow state. And this is really when the dots started to connect for me, because your morning routine is really supposed to heighten your productivity levels in the morning. For example, cold showers can actually increase your dopamine by over 250%, which does play a key role for focus, which plays a role in flow. Meditation is used to help drive, focus, and control attention in that present moment, which is supposed to improve self-regulation and self-control, which also is key for flow. Journaling is used for clarifying goals and preparation, which is also a key for flow. Some of these routines and many others share a common theme, which is they all boost your flow proneness, which they're supposed to help us get into flow later on in the day after we have finished our routine. So, generally speaking, the purpose of a morning routine is to boost flow proneness. But here's the kicker. In the morning when you first wake up, when you would normally be doing your morning routine, is when flow proneness is organically at its highest. And this is for two reasons. In the morning, your cognitive load is at its lowest. You haven't loaded anything to your mind. In the morning, you don't have any places to rush off to, any outside influence from your cellular device or anything of that such. And the less cognitive load that we have, the easier it is to access flow proneness. And secondly, the brain waves at this time are actually not far from theta or delta, which these signals are the brain waves of sleep. So this truly makes it much easier to just slide out of bed and then you fall deep into a flow state. So what does this really mean for your morning routine? We don't want to arrogantly waste this prime biological gift that we have in the morning. Your body is literally giving you the perfect flow state as soon as you wake up in the morning. And it's kind of ironic that the morning routine that we wake up and we feel so special about is actually the exact opposite of what the big billionaires and successful entrepreneurs are actually doing to be so successful and productive. Whereas the billionaire types immediately wake up, start working, and they really get to work on their highest priority task that they need to get done first. And as a byproduct of this, they are immediately rewarded with improved flow proneness. Doing this really gets you to your goals sooner, as well as it really helps you understand and access flow a lot easier than most other people. This makes it a win-win. Or is it a win-win? Well, after trying this wake up and flow approach for 90 days, I really started to feel burnt out, almost the same way that I do doing social media every single day. And I did see this with a lot of the billionaires and entrepreneurs that I was observing during this time. I found that while these titans were productive, behind the lens wasn't as pretty as you might think. They were tired and groggy, out of shape, which is an absolute no for me. Mentally drained. I missed some of the different pieces of my routine, like going for my morning walk, taking in the sun, starting with the sauna, my electrolytes, all those good little things that were part of my morning routine. So what I realized is that this approach of waking up every morning and getting a lot of work done and a high productivity every morning wasn't quite right either. So it turns out flow isn't binary. It isn't 1 and 0. It's not like a light switch that you can turn on and off. Flow is actually a cycle, the same way that we have protein synthesis and muscle building cycles. And there's truly 4 distinct phases of this cycle. And what truly matters the most here is the recovery phase. Flow is truly very taxing for the brain to actually produce. There's a lot of neurochemistry and energy being expended during this flow state time. There's a lot of energy that you can expend while in flow effortlessly, but on the back end, there's also a lot being used by your brain and your body. So just as any muscle, recovery is required to access flow again or to work out again. So it is truly no wonder the billionaire types would burn out. They would never take the time to actually recover their mind and their body. They were just all gas, no recovery. So when it does come to recovery, the biohackers and morning routine guys absolutely crushed it. They have meticulously optimized their morning routines, their hormones, everything has come together for the biohackers. So they really have great recovery protocols on that side. But in this video, we really want to avoid the mistakes of both sides and find the perfectly optimized hybrid routine. We want to avoid the biohackers that block that morning flow, and the entrepreneurial types don't do any elaborate routines or recovery, which is also something that we want to avoid. Now, the good news is, based on the research, there is a sweet spot between the biohackers and the super successful entrepreneurs. There are a few steps to this, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, the very first thing that we do want to implement is wake up and flow. Instead of an elaborate morning routine, you want to wake up and dive into your highest priority work. Not within the hour, not within 10 to 15 minutes, but within 90 seconds of your alarm going off and waking you up, you want to dive right into your work. Do this while your brain is still half asleep, while all your brain waves are closer to theta and delta. But grab you a bottle of water, keep it on your desk, and after about 10 to 15 minutes, you'll see that your body has woken fully up and you feel much better and you are now in a state of conscious flow. So essentially, you'll wake fully up while you're working. Now, after we have gone through this flow proneness state, and once you've allocated enough time to that work, say 1 to 3 hours of productivity in the morning, you can do your whole morning routine, everything that makes you feel good and feel better directly after this. Your stretching, your sauna, the lemon water, whatever it is, you can do all of these things that make you feel good for the rest of the day. Think of this to be no different than a workout. Work first, recovery after. When it comes to building your mind muscles. You're going to do that hard workout first. You're going to get right into it. And after, you're going to recoup your body. You're going to recover your mind. You're going to feel good. And then you can enjoy the rest of your day while have gotten the hardest and biggest productivity session out of the way with such little effort. But never skip recovery. When it comes to growing muscles, your brain and your flow state is no different. So remember to do your recovery right after you get through your work. But this is not just theoretical. This is the perfect hybrid for what the biohackers and entrepreneurs all bring to the table. Because we are actually taking advantage of that natural, organically high level of flow proneness that our body naturally gives us, as well as we are taking advantage of the hormones and the morning routines that actually help us boost flow proneness for the rest of the day directly after that. Now, there are 2 more tips to help make sure you lock in this routine and you flow effortlessly. And this will be preparation in advance. You want to make sure that you set the task up the night before and make sure that you have everything in extreme detail written down before you go to sleep. And do this so that you can just slip into your workflow state. You don't want to have to sit there and wonder what you have to do and prepare a bunch of different things. You'll be able to jump right back into it as long as you prepare in advance. I like to just write 5 things that I need to get done the next day. Don't overwhelm yourself with a big laundry list. I just do 5 things and then I put a star next to the one that needs to be done first. It's usually my YouTube videos. Secondly, remember to allocate enough time to really take advantage of this flow proneness state. Aim for 1 to 3 hours of high priority work and dedicate yourself to that. Do this so you can truly harness and take advantage of your flow state. Now, I challenge you to wake up and do this tomorrow morning. Tonight, before you go to bed, write down the 5 things you want to accomplish tomorrow. Set your alarm. Make sure that you have enough time to do this for 1 to 3 hours or whatever availability that you have to test this out for yourself. 1 hour at the minimum. Make sure that you wake up immediately and jump right into your flow proneness. And you will truly see how effortless it is to drop into that deep flow state. And then after you have finished your priority work, do that morning routine that you have all of your favorite things in to recover and to boost your flow proneness for the rest of your day. I challenge you to do this for at least 1 week, 7 full days. If you do see results and this works, come back and subscribe to learn how to improve your quality of life every single day.